the authentic self meditation. And we begin, as we do with all meditations, first by coming into a comfortable spot. I've chosen to be outside because this future self meditation has to do with being outside. If that works for you, great. Or you can just kind of come into a comfortable place inside and then bring to mind a place outside that you maybe would like to be in, a place that is pleasant for you. And for those of us who are outside sitting, we want to make sure that we do feel that this is a comfortable and safe position to be in to begin our practice. It's always the first step in meditation. Make sure you, or if you're teaching meditation, your students feel comfortable and safe. Along those same thoughts, lots of times we tell students to close their eyes. For some people, this is just totally fine. It's a very pleasant feeling, but a lot of people prefer to keep their eyes open. And in this case, you can tell them to find a gaze point. It's called a drishti to look at. And if that doesn't work, they can even just sort of half close their eyes and just kind of look down at the tip of their nose. The idea with this eye closing business is that it helps you sort of shut the windows and the doors to what's happening on the outside and become a little bit more in tune with what's happening inside. So once you've come into your comfortable place, you've found a gaze point or closed your eyes, feel your spine elongating, rooting with your sit bones, stretching your crown up towards the sky. And in that framework, almost as if there's a light dusting of relaxation coming all the way down from your crown, through your shoulders, all the way down to your hips, feel yourself relaxing. So the idea is to lengthen through the center axis and then to allow the body to relax. We call this root to rise. And then in this shape that you've created, sometimes I call it seated mountain, notice your breath moving through the shape. Obviously, you'll feel it probably first in your nostrils. You'll feel the cooler air coming in, the warmer air going out. You might feel the lungs expand, the belly expand as you inhale, and the belly retreat. And the lungs deflate a little bit as you exhale. And let's just spend some time there, here, feeling the breath moving through the body. So we'll think of our breath as the main event here in our practice. It'll be the anchor for our mind, and just the anchor to keep us here in the present. As I said, I'm sitting outside, so you might hear some of the sounds from my backyard. I've got a lawnmower going in the distance. There's birds singing in the trees. You might hear that, or you might tune into the sounds that you hear in your environment. And then come back to your breath. So it's sort of like you travel for a moment, as if extending your attention outward, but then you come back into your own breath. Now, if you would, think of a place outside where you do feel really comfortable. It could be exactly where you are right now, or maybe you want to think of yourself in another place, alongside a river or in a big field. But we're going to use this imagery to move towards our future self in this meditation. So bringing to mind some place, maybe here, and be in that space with as many senses as possible. By senses, I mean, how does it feel? How does the sun feel, if there is sun, on your back or on your face? Is there a wind, a breeze that you're detecting? What sounds? If you're imagining yourself by the river, you might hear the river gently moving past. And stay with these senses for the next few cycles of breath. Just truly noticing and feeling as if you're in that space. As you're in this space, imagine you're looking at sort of a far point in this space, but you notice that there's a person sitting there on a bench, much like I'm sitting on this bench. And you feel drawn towards that person for some reason. There's just something about them that's compelling. So you begin to walk closer. You approach that person. And you notice that feeling of being compelled has something to do with a general vibe that they're exuding, a vibe of wisdom, of peace, a wisdom of love and compassion. And as you get closer, you see that that person is you in 15 years. So you continue to come closer and closer because there's a feeling that you're invited in by your future self. And when you come close, you ask, may I ask you a few questions? I want to know what I could do now to bring me to this place that you're at, or you're depicting me in 15 years. And so the first question you ask her, or him, if you're a male, is what do you remember most about the past 15 years? The time, space between where I am now and where I will be in 15 years. And then you wait for that answer. And you listen, you receive, and you express gratitude. And the next question you ask, what could I do now that would allow me or help me be where you are in 15 years? What are the things I could do right now that would help me be there in this place of wisdom and peace and love? What could I do now? And you wait and you listen. You receive. And then you express gratitude. And you ask a third question. What do I need to let go of now to allow me to be where you are, where I will be in 15 years, to be like you are? What do I need to let go of now that could help me get there? And you listen. You receive. You express gratitude. And then the final question you ask simply, what else would you like me to know? And you listen. You receive. And you express gratitude. And then when it's time for you to go, your future self sends you the loving kindness metta. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live a life of joy and ease, free from suffering and the causes of suffering, which are usually of our own making. You receive the blessing. And then you begin to walk back to where you began, walking through this space, the outdoor space, coming back to where you first entered it. And try to experience again as many of the senses that you experienced when you first were in this space and were approaching your future self. the smells, the sounds, the feel. With a heart of gratitude for the wisdom that you received, you come back to the place where you began. Bring one hand to the heart and the other on top of that, and just complete your practice with another thank you. Thank you for the wisdom that lies deep within you, for taking the time to tap into it. When you're ready, you can blink your eyes open and come back into your space where you are right now, but with a little bit more wisdom than when you began. This is a meditation that you can use in a much shorter time span. That was about 11 minutes for us here. But if you practice this a lot, you can use it even just a couple minutes of just tapping into what would my future self tell me? And it's a really great way to get that information. I want to add one more thing to this while we're here and talking about our future self. Another meditation that's nice, I'm not going to take you all the way through it right now, but I just want to add it here. And it's called the 3 boxes meditation. And this might be good to use in conjunction with this meditation, or before, if you're teaching a class, you might want to introduce them both at different times. And in the 3 boxes meditation, after you go through the steps we talked about, orienting, feeling safe, tapping into your breathing, you imagine that you have 3 boxes in front of you. And one box represents the past, one the present, and one the future. And as you're in your meditation, you sort the thoughts that pop up in your mind into one of those 3 boxes. And you allow about a minute for that, where that sorting takes place. And then, just like we did with this past meditation, you stand as if you are in that future box. You stand right outside of it, and you give some words of wisdom to the present box, something that can help, okay? So that's just another idea, another play on the idea of future self and working with different times, past, present, and future. All right, thanks.